Ken Trahan, SportsNola.com, joined by Mike Wagenheim of Nicholls State University, the voice of the Colonels and an athletics administrator at Nicholls State. Mike, it's good to have you with us.
It's great to be here, Ken. I appreciate you taking the time.
And it's interesting time in terms of intercollegiate athletics. Of course, baseball season most prominent right now. Talk about the Colonels and where they're at in the Southland as we speak.
Colonels right now sitting at 7-11. They had a good start to the season, have fallen down the ladder the last 2 weekends. Good news is they've got the horses, they've got the pitching, and that's what you need in the Southland Conference. They can get the bats going again, get some good fielding going again. They're going to be all right. They could create some noise in the tournament as they've done the last couple of years.
One of the things about Nicholls State in terms of the schedule is you play a very good non-conference schedule. That makes a difference in the RPI.
Absolutely does, and the Colonels have been playing very well midweek. In fact, the loss to Tulane last Tuesday was their very first midweek loss of the season, so they're bringing it, whether it's conference or non-conference, they're really bringing it. They're intense. Coach Thibodeau has done a good job making sure that he's got some pitching depth this year so they're not giving away midweek games like they did in the past. It's a fun team to watch week in and week out.
Football program, spring football game coming up. Talk about, Charlie, where they're at right now.
Still shorthanded right now. They struggled last year. Offensive line and defensive line just had a massive number of injuries, which put him back right from the get-go. So Coach Stubbs has been making sure, not taking it soft on the players, that certainly won't prepare them for anything, but making sure he's staying away from the hard contact to keep them healthy, to keep from the catastrophic injuries in the spring, make sure they're healthy and ready to go for the fall. And we got our spring game coming up. Outside of offensive and defensive line, which are still shorthanded, I think we're getting a pretty good feel for where we're going.
Men's and women's basketball. Men's season wasn't quite what you hoped it would be, coming off of 2 good seasons. And, of course, Coach Piper's done a great job. With women's basketball, we all know Doobie Plaisance very well, and she started from scratch, and she's built this thing piece by piece, year by year, and done a great job.
Doobie's done a phenomenal job. Went from 2 wins to 4 wins to 8 to 15. They won their first ever Southland Conference tournament, knocked off the #1 seed, which Nicholls athletics teams have a habit of doing in the league tournament. She has that program headed no doubt in the right direction. They are going to be a force in the years to come. As far as the men's program goes, I don't know if it was a disappointing season. They were picked to finish toward the bottom of the ladder, and there was a reason for that. A very youthful, very inexperienced team, the second youngest team in the nation in Division I basketball. They've got some experience under their belts now. They'll be better for it, and I think they'll be okay coming up in 12-13.
Of course, conference affiliation, the Southland Conference, is solvent. Losing some teams, making some changes, picking up some teams. Maybe a certain team from New Orleans could end up being part of that mix eventually as well. Talk about the Southland and where it's at.
The Southland is losing 3 members, Texas State, Texas Arlington, and Texas San Antonio. With that, however, Oral Roberts is going to join the league this coming year, and then 2 years from now, Houston Baptist will be rolling around. I think the Southland Conference is playing a wait-and-see game right now, trying to figure out where the other dominoes are going to fall as far as conference realignment goes, whether they want to be at 12 teams, whether they want to be at 14 teams. We've heard some names thrown out there: University of New Orleans, Incarnate Word in San Antonio, Abilene Christian, a Division II school. It's going to be interesting times over the next few months.
All those make sense geographically, and of course with UNO, you have a history there as I do, and clearly that would be a good fit for them. It's really where they should have been a decade ago in terms of budgets, in terms of rivalries, in terms of, well, basically everything, and especially now that they're a member of the University of Louisiana system.
This conversation has been going on for a long time now. If the University of New Orleans athletics department is going to survive, they're going to need football. Maybe not next year, in 2 years. It's got to be soon. And the way to do that is to play at the FCS level. I think that would be their best option right now, would be the Southland Conference. And I think the Southland, I don't want to speak for the leadership of the conference, but I think they'd be amenable to it. And I think there needs to be a balance. If the league is going to be healthy, there needs to be a balance between Louisiana schools and Texas schools financially, and I think UNO would be a good fit on the Louisiana side.
Rob Bernardi does a great job. He's a good and great friend for many, many years. And of course, I'd be remiss not to make him happy by talking about some fundraising efforts that you have forthcoming. Talk about those.
Our 2 big spring fundraisers are on the way here, coming up on Thursday, May 10th. We've got our annual Fred Roth Memorial Golf Classic at the Atchafalaya at Idlewild in Patterson. Beautiful course, rated highly by Golf Week and Golf Digest. Putting together a tournament as we do every year. And then 2 weeks after that, Thursday, May 24th, our annual seafood extravaganza. It's all you can eat, deliciously done. Bubba's 2, famous in Thibodaux, will cater it once again. So those are our 2 big fundraisers coming up. You can find out more information by logging onto our website. It's gocolonels.com, G-E-A-U-X, gocolonels.com. Golf on the 10th of May. All you can eat seafood 2 weeks later. You can't beat that.
Harvard on the Bayou.
It's a great place, I'll tell you something.
Mike Wagenheim, we appreciate you visiting with us. Continue the great work at Nicholls State, and we're glad to have Nicholls State as part of WHNO as well.
We're proud to be affiliated with you, Ken.
Mike Wagenheim of Nicholls State University. And of course, you can follow Mike every step of the way. Go to GoColonels.com. Check out everything pertaining to Nicholls State athletics. I'm Ken Trahan for SportsNola.com.